My Catholic Faith. Lesson 167. Duties of Married Life. Every Catholic family should have the Holy Family of Nazareth, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, as their model, and live in holiness and mutual love. Every family should preserve the custom of having family prayers and a unity of worship. The family that prays together stays together. What is the chief duty of husband and wife in the married state? The chief duty of husband and wife in the married state is to be faithful to each other and to provide in every way for the welfare of the children God may give them. Husband and wife must comfort and support each other in the activities of their common life, in the fulfillment of their duties, individual as well as mutual, in all important matters, both spiritual and material. Now they are no longer two, but one flesh. The wife needs the husband to lean upon. The husband needs his wife to comfort and care for him. The man is the breadwinner and the head. The wife is the queen and mother. In true Christian marriage there is no question of selfishness, competition, or superiority between the spouses, for they too are one flesh. Husband and wife must be faithful to their marriage vows. They owe fidelity to each other. They ought very carefully to avoid even the appearance of unfaithfulness, for where jealousy is awakened, conjugal felicity ends. They should bear with each other's faults and infirmities, and not ruin their home life by dissensions. The wife will influence her husband for good more effectually by silence, meekness, and prayer, than by nagging and scandalous scolding. The husband should remember that his wife also needs companionship. He should not be away long. The spouses should always live together and have a real Christian family life. They must, however, remember that all marital relations must be in accord with divine and natural law in the faithfulness of chastity. Their affection should not be purely human, but holy and supernatural, in accordance with the purpose of their state, which was instituted by God. For we are the children of saints, and we must not be joined together like heathens that know not God. For its type and model, marriage has the mystical union between Christ and his church. The husband should love his wife as Christ loves the church, with a holy and supernatural love, as his own self. The wife should love and obey her husband as the head of the family. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ also loved the church. Wives, be subject to your husbands as is becoming in the Lord. In explaining the meaning of this latter passage, Pius XI in his encyclical on Christian marriage says, "This subjection does not take away the liberty which fully belongs to the woman, both in view of her dignity as a human person and in view of her most noble office as wife and mother and companion. Or does it bid her obey her husband's every request, even if not in harmony with right reason or the dignity due her as a wife. But it forbids that exaggerated liberty which cares not for the good of the family. It forbids that in this body which is the family, the heart be separated from the head, to the great detriment of the whole body and the proximate danger of ruin. For if the man is the head, the woman is the heart, and as he occupies the chief place in ruling, she ought to claim for herself the chief place in love." What are the duties of the married as parents? It is the grave obligation of parents to provide for their children and to train them in the love and fear of God. The best legacy they can leave their children is the love of God. The religious training of the child depends mostly on the mother. A mother who spends her time gossiping with her neighbours, going from one social function to another, or engrossing herself in useless amusements to the neglect of her children, has much to answer for before God. The primary purpose of marriage is the begetting and rearing of children in the fear and love of God, in order that they may join Him in heaven someday. Is artificial birth control immoral? Artificial birth control is immoral, contrary to both natural and divine law. Artificial birth control is the prevention of conception and birth by the use of drugs, medications, instruments, devices, cleansing, and other means to prevent the normal performance and fulfillment of the act of sex. Since it is against natural law and contravenes the primary purpose of marriage, it is morally wrong not only for Catholics but for everyone. Although the primary purpose of marriage is the procreation and education of children, the obligation is an affirmative one, and an individual couple may be excused from it temporarily or permanently for proportionate reasons. After Pope Pius XII affirmed the obligations of spouses in the state of matrimony to provide for the conservation of the human race, he continued in his allocution to midwives. Serious motives, such as those which are frequently present in the so-called indications, medical, eugenic, economic, and social, can exempt from this positive, obligatory prestation for a long time, even for the duration of the marriage. Hence, it follows that the observing of the sterile periods can be licit from the moral viewpoint. When reasons exist in married life for family limitation, the only morally acceptable course is continence, periodic or permanent. There is a vast difference between frustrating nature in contraception and not using one's marital rights in the exercise of continence. Therefore, a married couple capable of practicing rhythm and with mutual consent may do so for serious reasons. The act is normally performed. The failure of conception in any particular instance is attributable to a condition of nature. Excusing causes have relieved the couple of their affirmative obligation to procreate. At times, it may be advisable to seek competent spiritual and medical advice. Is abortion evil? Direct abortion is evil, a grave sin contrary to the law of God. Indirect abortion may be permitted. Direct abortion is committed when the fetus is intentionally removed from the mother's womb before it is able to lead a separate life, even if this were done in the very earliest period of pregnancy. Direct abortion is equivalent to murder. Those guilty of it, or who cooperate either physically or morally, incur excommunication. Direct abortion cannot be permitted even to save a mother's life. If the fetus or the baby is killed purposely because by not doing so the mother might die, that is direct abortion. Indirect abortion may occur when, although not intended, the death of the fetus follows some operation or other treatment performed on the mother. Such treatments and operations are permitted only when it is certain that both mother and child would otherwise die. In such cases, the child must receive baptism. In order to be certain of circumstances, a conscientious Catholic physician should be consulted.